Welcome to tonight's regional news. Self-declared interim president Juan Guaido and two of his top advisors are being accused of treason and have had a criminal investigation opened against them. Authorities have accused Guaido, his UK envoy Vanessa Newman, and his international office coordinator Manuel Avidano of surrendering Venezuela's claim to the disputed Essequibo in exchange for political support from the UK government. The move comes as a recorded phone conversation between Newman and Avidano was released on Friday, in which the former can be heard advising Guaido's Venezuela-based team to drop the official line that we want to take control of the Essequibo from Guyana. Newman goes on to reference talks with the British Foreign Commonwealth Office and Guyana's High Commissioner, clarifying that they won't support Guaido's efforts to overthrow Maduro while we continue that line. Both London and Georgetown back Washington's post recognizing Guaido as the legitimate leader of Venezuela. The Essequibo is a 160,000 kilometer square strip of land on the Venezuela-Guyana border, which was taken from Venezuela by the British colonial regime via a disputed 1899 arbitration agreement in which no Venezuelan negotiators were present. The ruling was later nullified by the UN-brokered Geneva Agreement, signed by all parties in 1966. Recent UN-led efforts to resolve the ongoing dispute have floundered following ExxonMobil's discovery of an estimated 12.8 billion barrels of oil in the Essequibo's offshore territory as part of the exploratory mission authorized by Georgetown. We now move on to Jamaica. While the topic is difficult for most, experts believe the methods and risk factors of suicide have to be discussed if the country is to see a fall in the numbers of persons who kill themselves annually. According to police data, 61 people committed suicide in Jamaica last year. Of that number, 56 were males and 5 females. 40 of those males committed suicide by hanging. Ingesting poison was the second highest method used. Dr. Donovan Thomas, founder and president of Choose Life International, in his address to journalists last Thursday, ahead of today's World Suicide Prevention Day, pointed out that the majority of people who commit suicide locally are men in the age range of 25 to 44, most of whom are single. Of note is that while more women attempt suicide, more men follow through. He added that among the high-risk groups are people with easy access to harmful means of death, relationship problems, and that usually leads to murder-suicide, previous suicide attempts, hopelessness, and a desire to escape their present realities. Speaking on the role of culture or geography in methods of suicide, Dr. Kevin Goldburn pointed to Trinidad and Guyana, where pesticides and hanging are also popular. Goldburn continued, "In Guyana and Trinidad, you have a large Indian population. They're sugar farmers who have access to rums and have access to pesticides that are used in farming. And over time, that becomes something in society where you hear about those who have gone before you, who have committed suicide by poisoning, so it becomes almost like a cultural thing you learn from history." And finally, the European Union is mobilizing an initial €500,000 in immediate emergency funding to assist those in the Bahamas affected by the Category 5 Hurricane Dorian, which devastated the Bahamas on September 2. The funding will address urgent needs such as shelter, water, hygiene, and food. The EU 24/7 Emergency Response Coordination Center is in close contact with the authorities of the Bahamas to monitor the situation and channel further EU assistance. In addition, the Commission has deployed a humanitarian expert to conduct a rapid need assessment, and the EU's Emergency Copernicus satellite service is currently providing maps of the area. Hurricane Dorian has left a large trail of destruction, with many casualties and leaving homes in ruins. We will do all we can to help getting aid into the people on the ground. Our thoughts are with all those affected by this tragedy and with the Bahamian authorities and brave first responders on the scene. The EU stands ready to provide further assistance, said Christos Stalianides, Commissioner for Humanitarian Aid and Crisis Management. Offers have also been received from EU member states to assist with the recovery. France, 30 tons of humanitarian material. Luxembourg, satellite communication platform which can provide data and voice communication to field emergency center. Belgium, a vessel with water purification system. The Netherlands, 2 Navy vessels from St. Martin carrying humanitarian cargo, including 2 helicopters and rubber boats. And that was all for tonight's regional news. Thanks for joining.